Okay, now we already have an unbelievable virtual course. Tim and I put that together, and that's been out on the market for 2 years. So, Tim, what made you create an in-person course?
Yeah, it's a really good question. So I think at one of our True Sports end of year parties, actually, Race and I got chatting a little bit about, what are the benefits, of taking things virtually versus in person. And I think for me personally, I always like to take courses in person. If you have a ton of things going on outside the clinic, as many clinicians do, families, other roles and responsibilities, within your clinic, it's very hard to make that commitment to your education, at, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And so I always found when I took virtual things that I would sort of purchase it, be really excited by it, maybe get through the first lecture or two, but then life kind of happens and it gets in the way, right? Like you have kids to help, homework, or, you've got other things to go and attend after, and it sort of becomes the last thing on your list in terms of priorities. So we started chatting and really felt like if we could, repackage this online version into an in-person version, you can make that commitment and hold yourself accountable by, just selecting one weekend of the year to physically be there in person, and learn in a really intense fashion. And I would say also on top of that, you really get, I think, a better long-term memory when you live and experience this type of learning in comparison to reading or listening. I certainly feel that too. During most of my week, I try to consume information from podcasts or articles or books. I think a lot of that can go in one ear and out the other. But when you do something, you live it and experience, you really internalize it. And I think it makes it much more easily applicable when you're back in the clinic, like Ray said, on a Monday morning working with a patient with an ACL. You can sort of say, oh, I remember when this came up. Dr. Race talked about how you could work through this. And that's really vividly, clear in my memory.